Hey, sub-tours, welcome to Goat Talk for, what is today? March the 3rd, I think it is. Good morning.
Hi.
Hey.
You're taking your glasses off?
I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Might as well leave them on, right? Guys, we're coming to you from Apollo Beach, Florida this morning, and we're going to talk about VAs. How do you grow your business? You hire these VAs, they come in, you have them posting, doing all kind of cool stuff for you. But then Facebook slaps you with some kind of stuff. So we're going to have Alie here this morning. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, Facebook's a bad guy. We're going to talk about that this morning. So you guys go refill that coffee cup and join us back here in 45 seconds. Good morning, sub-tours. Welcome to Goat Talk. Yeah, it is for March the 3rd. So glad you guys are with us here. If you're here with us this morning on Facebook or YouTube, please let us know who you are, where you are, what you do. Good morning, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah, good to see you from Memphis. Sarah's coming to see us for the mastermind. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and not too long. Alie Murphy's going to be here with us this morning. She is out somewhere playing with horses. Yeah. And I think she's having some connectivity issues this morning. So she was on and now she's off, but hopefully she'll be back soon. And we can talk about how to use VAs in your business and how to beat that algorithm problem. I know Jody and I are facing some of that right now ourselves, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our VA is having some posting issues.
He gets blocked and kicked out a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's from a different IP. And
yeah. So Allie's going to talk to us about how to avoid that if we can get her back on this morning. And if not, I guess we'll talk a little bit about it.
We're not the experts.
We're not the experts, but we know how to talk. Lisa, good morning. Good to see you here today. It's good to see you. My name's William Tingle. For those of you who may not know me, this is my lovely wife, Jody, and we buy houses and live real estate.
That's our name on here.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go over a couple of the things that Allie's supposed to talk to us about when she gets here. And get you guys all excited. And we hope she'll show up. Hey, Phil, good to see you today. Tim Jensen runs a RIA up there in Chicago. I can't remember, Tim. Are you somewhere outside? I just know you're in the great state of Illinois. So Allie's plan this morning talking to us about how to look for sellers, how to create advertisements for those. We've got her back on here now. We're going to bring on and see if we can talk to her just a little bit. Hey, Alie, good to see you. Glad you made it back on. Hey, yeah, we were just telling everybody you're out there playing with horses and everything, and you're really busy. So we're really glad. Yesterday was her birthday. She's taking off to be with us. Happy birthday. Yeah. And we're just thankful to have you here with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Tell Alie happy birthday, Mark said.
Thank you.
Tracy, good morning. Tim's in Rockford. That's right. I should remember that. I think I've been there before. Toya's here. Good morning. Good to see you. Tracy says, good morning, Alie. Hope you had a great birthday. So, Alie, Allie told us this morning when we were talking before the call that she's just about legal to drink. So not quite ready to go out and have that celebration drink for her birthday, but real soon. So, okay, let's get going. Tell us a little about you, how you became an expert on VAs, and how you use them in your business.
Well, the expert part comes in with a lot of trial and error, a lot of learning curves. But the way we started was when we first got into investing in real estate. Corey does appraisals, and so he would go around to a lot of different neighborhoods and pick up houses that way. And when we got to where we didn't want to be working in the business all the time, and we wanted to work on growing it versus the day-to-day tasks, we tested out VAs, and it did not work the first time. I kind of was a little jaded and did not want to go back to that to hiring VAs again. And probably about 2 years after, decided I'm not doing VAs again or using VAs again. I was talked into trying it again, and by a friend that actually is not in real estate at all. She does business consulting. And so I hired a VA, and the rest is history. We have about there's 10 of us on our team right now.
That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Having all of those people, I would say that makes you an expert. We're up to what, 3 now?
Yes.
Yeah, we're up to 3, and that's a handful, I'll tell you. But it's amazing how much they can really take off of you.
It's hard to do it at first because you're like afraid to like let somebody else do it because you don't know if they'll do it like you do it.
Right.
Sometimes they're doing it better.
Yeah, I mean, they're more consistent for sure because you get busy with other stuff. I mean, you got sellers to talk to and houses to buy and things going on, and you just get too busy. I knew the other day we were actually having a conversation about one of our VAs that had failed to do something, and we're like, oh, well, because you know as well as I do, better, you got 10 working for you. VAs from time to time will be just cruising along great, and then they just disappear, like they vanish off the face of the earth. And it was like, man, Jody said, I sure hope that doesn't happen with this one because, man, I don't want to have to start doing all that stuff again.
You get used to having a break.
That's right. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Jeff, good morning from Georgia. Happy birthday. Listen, I know we're going to get started here in a second, but we've got Ed here. Ed is a Max student. And
good morning.
He's like, oh, hi.
Yeah, good to see you. Hey, listen, you saw that post. If you come in the green room, you better be ready.
That's right.
Exactly. Not sitting here like.
Yeah.
Pull you in.
Our Max students, one of the perks of being a Max student is you actually come in if you have a question. Do you have a question for Alie this morning?
No, I'm just here to listen. I'm ready for a VA again. I've had one for a couple of years and kind of let her go because ebb and flow through working. But now, with brokerage stuff, there's just so much to do. So it's time to get on it.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for popping in with us, Ed. If you have a question, raise your hand in there and we'll bring you back. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. All righty. So let's get rolling. I know we've got a couple of points here that we want to bring up today and talk about. If you guys have questions, don't hesitate to ask them. That's something we want to do. If you have some questions, we want to take those. But of course, one of the main things we use our VAs for with Facebook is to market for sellers. So tell us a little bit about that, some of the best practices, how you guys do that.
So this is a big topic for a lot of people is building your brand and figuring out how to share that brand on social media, especially Facebook, because Facebook's very tricky and it's very easy to get shut down and your Facebook account being canceled. We've gone through all of that. So we'll start with how we look for sellers and how we are able to stay on Facebook and not not get canceled or turned off.
Mhm.
So first of all, I'll just walk you through a good seller flyer real quick. That's helped us a lot. So when we build sales flyers, what we'll do is in the corner of the sales flyer or across the front of it, we'll put "We Buy Houses." So when we share in community group, people know to reach out to us because they know we buy houses. We'll also do fake flyers that might not have an address on it, but it would have. So, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Can you still hear me?
It's Yeah, we can hear you. It's breaking up just a little bit.
Seems a little frozen now.
Yeah, it's a little bit frozen. Okay. Well, we're gonna wait for her to come back here. Allie's done a little bit of training with us and actually helped train our VA. Yeah, I know Tim says that darn dial-up. Tim also said it's been 31 years in the business. If I decided I wanted a VA for property management, any tips? Gosh, I don't know. I think a property management. Hey, she's back. Okay. All right, great.
All right. I don't know. Where did I go off? I saw everybody freeze. I said, uh-oh.
Yeah, it happens. Listen, it's technology.
Where did I
with a house for flyers?
Right.
Posting the flyers for sale. Oh, she's froze again.
Yeah, she is.
Sale flyers.
Yeah.
So, I'll just kind of do a recap. So the sales flyers, we will sometimes do a fake flyer with a city and state.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So let me see if I can switch my hotspot real quick.
Don't feel bad at all, Tim. I fought having a VA for years and years, and it was, gosh, I really didn't. I've tried in the last 3 years really to have, and it was a real struggle. And it's just been in the last 6 months or so we've been successful with it. So it is a learning curve.
Well, we added different features that we just couldn't do all of it.
Right. That's right, especially when you're trying to manage multiple businesses. So besides real estate, I mean, we have, coaching and that sort of thing. And it's just impossible to keep up with all that stuff, especially when it comes to consistency. And that just means making sure things are done day in, day out, week in, week out. It just, it's so easy to say, well, I can't get to that today, or have a seller call and, or an appointment or something, and you can't get to something that needs to be done. And if you're, and this seems to be a big problem for VAs, not for VAs, but for investors anyway, just being entrepreneurial. It's hard to focus on things. So yeah, that can be hard. Hey, Allie. Allie's back. She's going to talk about flyers. Hey.
So
okay.
For the flyers, we'll put a for sale, like we buy houses, but we could do a fake flyer too with just a city and a state where maybe it's not a real property or property we have had before. And we'll post it and just say, for sale or, owner finance available. And then across it, we'll say, we buy houses. And so that way people know, especially we'll post it in community groups mainly, and people will know that we buy houses and they can reach out to us for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Tim had a question. He said, it's only been 31 years, so I decided I wanted a VA for property management. Any tips? Yes, I'm a slow learner. I don't know how well that would work for property management. What are you thinking, Allie?
I think she can't hear us.
Yeah, probably not. So that's what I would say, Tim. Property management, I think you want somebody definitely local for sure.
So I actually have as being able to vet. Can you stop?
All right. I'm thinking this is probably going to be a tough thing to do today. Okay. All right. Looks like Allie's cutting out again. I'm thinking getting her connected in here and everything's probably going to be hard to do today. It sounds like she doesn't have the best connection there where she's at. Let's see. Tim said, I'm planning on getting a U.S. based VA. I'll tell you, that's what I was starting to think too, especially with cold callers, Tim. But what we did was we talked to several that were out of the country and just found someone who had a minimal accent. But he communicates well. He understands English and the language, and that's really important. And we've had real good success with our cold caller. Gabby says, we've been thinking about hiring a VA. We already have two persons on our team helping us with Facebook and notes. They are not VA, they're family. We'd like to hire a VA, but we're not sure what to delegate to them, which task. It's hard for me to delegate. Hey, tell me.
It is hard, but I'd say the ones that, first of all, the ones that are kind of drudgery to do every day. I think that's the first ones you want to get rid of, because if it's something that anybody could do, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Right. Yeah, I would start. Absolutely. I totally agree. Start with the things that you don't want to do, that don't require a tremendous amount of skill. Give them a couple at a time. That's why I think our last couple of VAs have worked out so well. We didn't just load them up with stuff. We started them with a couple of jobs. It was only a few hours a week. And as they mastered those and were doing very well with those, and we'd add another job and another job. We even set up a Trello board where they could see, and we made that board visual to them so they could go look, what you're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and with their little jobs on it. And then we had another board on there that said to be assigned. And so they could see what was coming. They could see we had plenty of work for them, but only after they were doing the other things well would we assign those other jobs. So
yeah, if we'd have given them everything at once, none of it would have probably got done well. It would have been overwhelming. Because they don't understand our business yet.
Right.
So
it would have been hard for them. We would have spent as much or more time supervising and correcting.
Yeah.
But just take a couple of the jobs to start with, only give them a couple hours part-time, and then work them into more. And that's been successful for us. Yep. Let's see. The VA would handle calls, go after delinquent renters, and call contractors for service. I don't know if those would be the first things I would assign somebody. Personally, I think that is more the things that I would want to be in charge of to begin with. We use our VAs for dull, routine tasks that have to be done. Posting, creating videos, doing video marketing, all of those.
Not recording videos, but like the producing.
Right. Producing, creating content and that sort of thing, which you need as an investor if you're trying to grow your business on Facebook or any of the social media. It's not just for people in the coaching industry. Let's see. Tim, slow rolling is what I was planning. Yep, for sure. I would do that. Gabby, awesome. Yes, I need to take weight off my take the stuff that you just, oh my gosh, I've got to do this again today. I don't want to do that at all. So, hey, Farouk.
And especially if anyone can do it. I mean, there's some things that you might dread, like if you don't like to talk to sellers.
Yeah.
But you dread that, but you can't just hand that off all the time.
Well, and if you're not,
that's what because not everybody can do that.
Yeah, if you're not good at
it.
So
you'd have to hire a good
cold
caller for that.
For me personally, talking to the sellers. Now, screening them is not a problem. We screen for motivation. I would much rather a Zillow seller who, when if someone calls them up to talk to them about, are they open to terms, or they how quickly do they need to sell, are they willing to discount, I would certainly rather our cold caller get hung up on and cussed out than me. But once they pass that screening, who's a better person to speak to them at that point? Well, I think that's going to be us. Okay, so looks like Allie's in a new location. Maybe she's on her phone. Maybe that'll help things. She's back.
I'm back.
All right. Well, there you go. Okay, so we're going to try to go back to these flyers, aren't we?
Yes.
Is that what we're on? We're talking about flyers, guys.
I've been waiting for the flyers.
I'm sorry. Should I start from the beginning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's do that. See,
Okay.
and a lot of people left when she was gone. They're coming back now. So,
I know, right?
So they're here to see you, not us. Okay, so tell us about the flyers.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to tell you guys a little bit about the flyers. Like I said, she shared some information with us and actually had her lead VA do some training with ours. So I already know from experience. Okay, is she back?
There you go. I think so.
Is she back now?
Need to go to a Starbucks or something, get some Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do this, Allie. Oh, she's not here now anyway.
She can't hear us.
I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to move this call to next week. What do you think?
I think maybe.
I think that's the best thing. She'll be back in civilization next week.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to do that. Guys, if you have some just regular real estate questions.
Well, or VA stuff.
We
know a little. We don't know that
we
much.
know enough to be dangerous. Maybe, I don't know. Did Ed say he had hired somebody? Ed, help us out here. Did you say you had hired a VA?
Yeah, I had a VA. Okay, I'll back up a little bit. So Neil Bawa, he just did a little webinar about hiring a VA. So
Right.
he had, you guys can look that up. He did a really good job of how he broke it down, which was ironically the same way I basically did it. So he just went to Upwork, put a job ad out, posted some questions, some tasks, and then basically evaluated them, graded them. And so I did the same thing when I got my VA, and she worked out great for probably about 2 years. And then I just couldn't keep her busy, with enough stuff on my own, as a one-man kind of show until probably about recently here, maybe the last 6 months. And then really the last 3 months, I keep kind of going through my mind, I really need to get a VA, and I'm doing just stuff, database entry and research that I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And then the timing was great. You brought Allie in, and I thought, oh my God, this is just like a shot of juice in the arm. And man, I really, really need to do this now. So
Right.
It just gets, the more you think about it, it's like that book, Who Not How, right? I got it sitting over here somewhere.
Right.
But who should be doing things that you shouldn't be doing? Because my time is worth, more than $4, $5, $6, $7 an hour.
Right.
Right.
So yeah,
for sure. So
yeah.
I know, and I'll offer this tip too for you guys that it may be something to think about. If you've got a VA that you've got working for you that you just don't have enough hours for, before you let them go, or because they need full time or do whatever, and you've got a group you can share that in. Okay, like let's just say you had somebody doing stuff for you that was real estate specific. If you had brought that into the group and said, listen, guys, anybody looking for a VA, I can only use her 5 hours a week. She wants 30 hours a week. If anybody in here needs her for 5 hours, she could be working for all of us. And here's a bonus for you. I've trained her how to do this.
That's true.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
So then on for a few hours, you know what I mean, and not have her go out and find somebody else.
You're a genius.
I know. I've been trying to tell you forever. Anyway, so that's what I do for any of you guys like that. In fact, that's how I found my very first VA that I ever hired for podcast stuff. That's how I found her. She was working for somebody who didn't have enough hours, and he said, "Hey, she's been trained. She knows how to do stuff. Anybody interested?" And I raised my hand, and that's how I got started. So, any tips for people wanting to get started, Ed?
Oh, I'd say just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what you do throughout the day. Maybe map out your day on what you're doing, what your tasks are, and then, maybe sit down with your partner and discuss. Should I be doing this, or should somebody else be doing it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We did that too. We made a list of things we thought they could do, and then every day we were like, "Oh, I have another thing we can put on the list."
Pretty soon that list was lengthy.
Yeah.
In fact, we got a bunch of stuff to move off of the onboarding board.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Alie.
Yeah.
Are you back?
I'm back, but I'm scared. I don't know if it'll hold it.
Let's do this. Yes. If it freezes up again or we lose you again, let's move this call to next week. Okay. That way you can go back and play with your horses a little bit early this morning, and then we'll save all, because I mean I'm telling you, I'm looking at all these notes, and I'm telling you, this is going to be a great show.
Yeah, people want to know stuff.
This is going to be a great show. So, oh yeah, listen, I've got to share.
I know. I see which one you're going to do.
Tim Jensen says, "William, you have brains and beauty." See, I've always known you liked me, Tim.
Yeah.
I've always known this. Okay. All right. Hey, Facebook user, I don't know. Let's see. I can't tell who you are, but let me tell you, we're having some technical difficulties this morning. So, yeah, right. So no biggie. Okay. I think Allie's probably going to come back next week and do this, but we're going to try to get going one more time. So let's talk about these flyers, how we do that. Let's see if we can get through it.
So with the flyers, we do a sales flyer, and it can be just a fake flyer, like just with the city and a state and a picture on it, and you would share it in community groups, and across it you would say, "We buy house."
Okay. All righty. We're gonna have to do this again next week. So good morning, Facebook user. Not sure who you are, but we're glad.
I think I know what she was trying to spit out, though.
Yeah.
Was just that if you have the we buy houses, we also buy houses on the house for sale. Then you'll catch the sellers too.
Right. And chances are that you won't get thrown out because you actually look like you have something for sale, as opposed to I'm just here to troll for sellers. So anyway, yeah. So are we? You think we're going to come back and give this a try next week? Would you feel better about that? I mean, we're 30 minits in, and we.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Hey, listen.
My hot spot. I've never had a problem with my hot spot. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and that's another one of the bad things about it freezing up is it. And I know this happened to me a bunch too. It tends to like give a screenshot of you or whatever, and then unfavorable shots. that's unflattering.
There's so many on YouTube.
Yeah, it's unflattering. So anyway, hey Alie, thanks so much. It looks like you're muted. Thanks so much for coming in and trying. Let's just we'll revisit this exact thing next week.
If she can just be on the watch on Facebook or something and help answer through Facebook or something,
right?
Throw her 2 cents in.
Yeah.
Can you do that at least? So if we keep talking about this and you can just comment.
Yeah, you can say, hey, you guys are full of it. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Listen to William and Jody. Listen
and then
to me.
We'll read your answers if
We'll do that. Okay. So we'll try to still answer some questions, but we'll
well, she's good right now. Let's hang on until she teeters out again.
So let's see. Neil says we're having some large signs made up that we can permanently put on a business road. Can you give me suggestions on what we would put on such a sign? Thanks, Neil. Neil, let me tell you, my recommendation is as little as possible. We buy houses, and your phone number even bigger, because these people, it's a busy road. You just said it's a busy road, a lot of traffic. People are moving. They don't have time to stop. If your number is really easy to remember, I'll tell you, we just got here into town yesterday. Well, yesterday, and I had to go to Home Depot to get a couple of things for our office. And I passed by, and these were the tiny bandit signs. These were small, but all it said was cash for house. They didn't even waste that space for an extra S. Cash
Just
for
one
house. And they had a great phone number, man. It was the local area code 813. And then the number was, I'm not going to give the actual number because we get slammed, but it was like 777-7777. All 7 digits were the same. I don't know. That's usually an attorney phone number, but they got this number somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it was, now if you got that number, then you can probably put a little more on it. But really, this was a tiny bandit sign, and all it said was cash for house. BR549. That was it.
I can't read the rest if it's
right. There's no way. This was at a busy intersection. It was a great location for a bandit sign, but very short and sweet. You're letting them know what you do.
And let them sit there and think, 444 and memorize that number. Don't waste their time trying to read this small print.
Yeah. Make it all about what you do and your phone number. And all that other stuff's not going to help you. All that other getting divorced. Well, listen, they know if they need to sell a house, call you. Just make it really short and sweet. My bandit signs forever have only said I buy houses.
Or Neil buys houses. Stands out a little more, but it's just same length.
Yeah, it's just about how much room you've got. But anyway, so
I think the name sometimes helps. It's a little personalized,
Mm-hmm.
Like Bonnie buys houses or whatever.
Didn't we see one recently that was pretty standout-ish, but I don't remember what it said.
Yeah, it wasn't a name actually, kind of. It was like a nickname.
Now, Tim says exactly. I know, Tim, you've used bandit signs for years. I guess you find that to be the same. Just get that out there. So, Allie's going to be back next week with her VA Facebook algorithm. Sorry, guys. That she had to bug out of here. It just wasn't
cutting it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in agreement, Ed, about start out with the stuff you hate to do, the small jobs, the easy to do, see how they do on that. I'll tell you what I love about our VA, our latest guy, is he pushes us.
Yeah.
He'll be like, because if we tell him we have a weekly call, like a team meeting is what it's called, and it may only last 15 minutes, but we just go over what's been happening during the week. And if we we ask for his suggestions, what could we be doing better about
and he gives
social
suggestions
media?
about things that we don't know about. We don't know a lot about Instagram or whatever. So he's like, what are my best, thoughts on that or whatever. But go ahead.
And he'll say, get me this, get me that. And we'll say, okay, we'll get you that. And then if we haven't gotten it to him in a day or two, he's going, hey, I still need this.
Well, he's nicer than that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the point is what you promised me. I need it so I can do my work, Jack. Okay, give it to me. Or he'll say, this is your 30-minute reminder that our meeting is at 10 o'clock tonight.
We knew. I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. Right. Because what if we didn't remember?
Right.
Yeah. He's being proactive. That's awesome. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Neil says they'll be 4 feet tall by 8 feet wide. Okay. I get what you're saying. Thanks for your suggestions. If you've got that much room, you could put something else. Offers made on all calls, cash in 48 hours. But again, I wouldn't try to get too wordy with it. If it's a busy road, they're not going to have much time. And you want cash in 48 hours. That's what I was saying. My bandit sign, as
or full price offer if you are doing that. Something
full price for your house.
Phone number.
Yeah.
Big phone number.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And answer the phone.
Yep.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Allie says, sorry guys, I'm thinking everyone is using bandwidth right now.
Yeah.
That could be it too for sure. So we'll have you back next week. No worries. Stuff happens. Man, it's technology. So what can you say? Yeah, no, we sure will.
Part 1, take 2.
Right. Everybody can be better prepared with their questions. We'll go ahead and just reschedule that for next week. So what you got going on, Ed?
Oh, geez. Yeah, just expansion, growth, trying to track down people for the team.
Right.
Always a battle. And, lots of business. We got a new marketing campaign we just started. So that's got a ton of leads that are flowing in, and for retail, right? Not so much investment based, but regular retail real estate.
Right. I know you made a post a couple of days ago about your class, your call that you're doing this weekend in the Max group. Ed is a sub-2 Max student. He's also one of the teachers inside the group. He's an expert and raising private money. What's your call about this weekend?
Basically, I just want to run through kind of a case study of kind of how I go about raising funds to purchase. So just share that. It's just basically going to be an open format. Nothing, no fancy PowerPoints or presentations. Just an open discussion and just share my mindset of how I go about finding money.
Right.
A little bit different than what everybody's going to be, what they might have in their mind already. So, yeah.
Okay. I know we're looking forward to that. Anytime you can get advice from a real investor, it's always time well spent. Guys, we had originally planned for today to be with Alie Murphy talking about VAs and how to beat the Facebook algorithm. Allie's had some connectivity issues at her location, so we're going to move that meeting to next week. She kept getting kicked off of the net. So if you guys have some general real estate questions or any other topics you want to talk about, we'll be glad.
Or VA questions if they're really easy.
Yeah, if they're really easy. We're still new to this VA thing too. Yeah. We've got 3 right now, and but they're working out real well. We're pretty disappointed.
Well, 2 of them.
Yeah.
One's a little iffy.
Yeah. Talking about bandit signs and those types of things, and answer the phone, which Ed had said earlier about if you put out bandit signs. We were in Pensacola for 2 weeks and actually saw 4 bandit signs during that time that we were there, and called 2 of them. And one was an answering service. Actually turned out it was Pat Live. I actually had a conversation with the investor later.
Tell me about that. That was interesting.
Yeah, it was. The other was the investor actually answered the phone. But I had a conversation with the investor. Called me back. It was, I don't know, 2 or 3 days later before he called me back.
The Pat Live answerer first.
Yeah, she was an answering service. It was apparent from the beginning, of course.
Because you asked her questions, she said she didn't know.
Right. I was asking her, how long has your company been in business? How many houses have you bought? She couldn't answer.
And you said, are you just an answering service? And she said, yeah, basically.
Yeah, right. So, and Pat Live is pretty expensive. It's probably, as far as ones we've ever checked out, the most expensive. It's one of the better known ones too for investors because Ron LeGrand recommends it. So, and this did turn out to be a Ron LeGrand student. Great guy. We had a great conversation. We probably talked 30 minutes when he called me back. And I shared what I thought were the problems with Pat Live. We provide our cold caller, who we just hired individually. It's not a service. We interviewed people. We hired him. But we also provide him with a list of several questions that sellers may ask, and the answers he needs to give them. One, the name of our company, how long we've been in business, and that sort of thing. So if he gets those questions, he can answer them and not just say, well, I don't really know, because that doesn't sound good.
He was great though.
Yeah. He was.
I mean, once you were talking to him, he did a good job.
Yeah, he did. And so we have Pat Live answering. They're taking our information. The investor calls us back 2 or 3 days later, which I think is the second mistake. If you're I can't criticize this guy. We don't do what we should do either on a regular basis. But if you're using a service, you need to call them back at least within 24 hours. If they made contact, this seller is interesting, you need to call them back within 24 hours. But that was one. Now the second one, the investor actually answered the phone, and it was really funny talking to a new investor on the phone. Personality wise, how he handled the call, he was great. Super nice guy, very personable.
He knew a lot of stuff in a way.
He knew a lot of stuff, but he was super motivated to buy. And that was apparent because all I did was have conversation with him. I would ask him a question. He would answer it very well. And I would say, well, what about this? And he would handle the objections. But when I still would say things like, well, that's certainly something to consider, he would go, well, let me sweeten the deal for you. He would just give more and more and more. And so pretty soon he was talking about, and I remember I started this conversation with, well, my house is worth about $275. I owe probably close to that. I just bought it last year. My payments are $1,600. He had already said, well, I can pay you probably $1,800. So you'll make a couple of $100 a month in cash flow. And so then he was going to pay all the closing costs. Then he's going to give me $1,000 or $2,000 at closing.
He talked himself out of
He kept just giving me stuff because I didn't go, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. All of a sudden he was paying me at closing. He was paying me every month. His
deal was getting skinnier and skinnier
every minute because he was super motivated. Don't do that, guys. Just don't do it.
That's just experience, though. Yeah. He'll find that out eventually. But he was great.
Yeah. If he sticks with it, he'll probably be successful, but he's got a few things to learn. But the important thing was he answered the phone right away. Okay.
And was really friendly.
So that's
answered all your questions.
Yeah, he did. Okay, we've got a couple of questions. Neil said, are you mainly having your VAs handle your social media right now? One handles a lot of it right now.
Because that's what he does. It's kind of his specialty. So we kind of do steer all that towards him.
Yeah. So, that's his primary job is social media. Then, of course, we've got a caller. We've got a website guy that does stuff for our website. But we just recently redid our whole website. We don't have much for him to do right now. So now we're trying to move him into something else that he can do for us. But all of our VAs somebody had said earlier, they want to use US VAs. All of ours are out of the country. We've got 2 in India, 1 in Nigeria. And the Nigerian guy is super. He's
the one that's like, your call's in 30 minutes, guys.
Yeah, he's just super. Yeah. So, Tell me, you ask if they're handling our social media. I know you see that stuff out there, Neil. Is that anything that maybe you should not comment here? Maybe you should tell us in a private message. Tammy says, "Hey, Tammy, good to see you. I give my VAs info on our company so they're prepared when taking calls. What service do you suggest or use to answer incoming calls other than Pat Live?" I'll tell you this. I've always felt like if it's incoming seller calls, we should be the ones talking to them. If they've already been, if they're coming in from marketing, we've got bandit signs or anything like that, the fact that they're taking that step and calling us is a huge motivating indicator as far as I'm concerned. If they'll call the We Buy Houses guys, they probably want to do something. As far as a service to use, I have not used a service because of my feelings about those things. We have been talking to this one guy for quite some time now, trying to get a really good price for our students. I don't have a suggestion for a service. I would say if you have a spouse that's in the business, like let's say that you're married and you have a stay-at-home spouse, that would be my first person that I would look at besides, unless they're not good at taking calls or don't want to take calls. What would you say?
Well, I was thinking it could be somebody else's spouse.
Yeah.
I mean, like a stay-at-home mom or something
Right.
that you could just train. That's kind of like a
Right.
not a VA, just somebody. I guess it could be anywhere, but
I'll tell you, what's key is that they're relatable, that they're personable, that I shared a call. Yeah, Ed, I know you heard this. I shared a call with the Max Group a couple of weeks ago. We were in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and there was a We Buy Houses sign. So of course I called it, and it was actually the investor that answered the phone. Okay. And we found this out later because we did a little checking, but it was actually the investor that answered the phone. And I asked questions like a seller might ask. How does this work? She didn't want to engage me in conversation. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, Ed. She didn't really want to engage me in much rapport building. She wanted to cut to the chase.
she kept saying, "So do you have a house?
Do you have a house to sell or what?" And finally I said, "So you pay full price for houses?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I want a cash sale. You pay full price cash?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I've talked to all these other investors that pay cash. They want to pay me 2/3 of what my house is worth. How can you pay full price and make money?" And she said, "That's really none of your concern."
That's the opposite of rapport.
I know, right? And I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, really, it floored me. I didn't even know what to say.
You're just like, okay, bye.
I said,
Yeah.
I think I actually said, "Gee, wow, okay, well, thanks. Have a good day."
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say to that. What do you say? It's none of your concern.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's none of your business.
How we make our money is
Wow.
none of your concern.
yeah, really. How we make it's not, basically none of your business. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
Strange.
maybe Neil was asking Alie if the VAs handle their social media. Alie said, "I have VAs handling all social, all marketing. I'm currently training someone to handle my personal email as well, which takes time." Okay, so maybe he was asking her. Eric, hey, Will, just talking about to say hello. Charlie and I are still keeping the dream alive. Okay, well, good for you, Eric. Good to see you. Let's see. Josie says, "My friend from school took my calls." Yeah, anyone that has some spare time on their hands, that's good with people, they can answer the phone. You can pay them per call or per hour or however that works out for you. Yeah, good idea, Josie. Good to see you here. So, guys, if you have any other questions, if not, I don't know. Maybe we should just let everybody get back to business today. We didn't have a plan.
I know we didn't have a backup plan.
We didn't have a backup plan today. So we've still got some things to do to get set up here in Apollo Beach. We've got to get ready for our mastermind. Josie said, "I paid per call." Yeah, and that makes sense. Just pay per call. That way you're paying for the work they're doing. And absolutely. So
Josie, can I ask how much? You don't have to answer, but how much per call? I'm just kind of curious what that would be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many calls you got. So I guess that's the decision. I mean, the deciding factor.
Yeah. All righty. Okay, guys. We'll hang out for just a second. See, $20 a call. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd do that if they knew what they were doing and would handle calls for me all day long. I mean, if you're paying, one of these companies that may or may not do a good job, you'd probably pay that anyway.
Yeah.
They charge per minute. So, yeah. And have a contract. I mean, you have to pay a minimum of so much each month.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing that with us, guys. I guess we're going to get out of here.
Yeah. We're doing it short, but we're running out of stuff to say on VAs.
We're really boring.
We're not that experienced yet.
We need some VA help.
Yeah, we need some VA help. That's why we got Alie in here.
We need a VA to write us some more content or whatever.
Yeah. All right, Ed, thanks for joining us today, guys.
Hey, bet, my pleasure.
You and the Max group. All right. Okay, guys. That is it for us today. Next week, when she has a good internet connection.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk all about VAs. So I hope you guys are having a great Thursday, talking to some sellers and buying some houses. We will see y'all next week.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.